let's we've got this userStore kind of going. Now I need to update the UI. Swap out some of the old seller store, buyer store stuff. So let me do that. Yeah, so let's seller store, buyer store. I'm gonna go ahead and start logging I start logging the userStore stuff as well. Kind of get a sense of what's happening. So I'll do console log. Oops. Honestly, this is gonna initialize right now. It's null. I had to, you know what, I'm gonna go ahead and shut down my validator, rebuild, get my logs, Solana logs going. Yeah, okay. Now back in here in the UI, need to, let's go to the home. This is a fresh start, so I gotta select the wallet, thanks to the handy wallet adapter. Get this, and now to my escrow program. Yeah, these are hard coded in my stores. The addresses for my 2 dev wallets. Yeah, this is the first time around, so for me, create the custom store, create the tokens, which pops up a couple transactions because I'm creating the X and Y tokens. Stuff should now, I guess I could have started checking the setupStore actually. And these are the associated token accounts. There's 4 transactions. Yeah. Don't know why that's probably a UI thing. And then let's mint. Let's see if any errors come up with that. Yeah, so I think everything is working. We've got the X store. Yeah, look. So these are the tokens. The mint address. And the authority. And supply and all that stuff. Yeah. Yeah. Okay. So this is a mess. So I need to start addressing my UI. Now that I've got this setupStore and the this userStore. Okay. setupStore has quite a lot of stuff here. Buyer X token balance and seller Y token balance. Yeah, okay. All right, so notice I made some code changes, did the refresh, and it refetches, like it refreshes the front end. And because of that, it did the layout fetch of getting the parsed token accounts in this connected wallet. So now it shows that I've got a SOL balance of 1.98. Yeah. And it's got these 2 tokens, which are the mints, 6Z and HG. Should be right, 6Z, yeah. So this is kind of the swap UI, yeah. Click over here, select this token, shows that I've got 3. But if I click on this other one, it shows that I don't have any balance with this token. Yeah, so that's still there. That's good. But before we get into that, let's clean up this UI a little bit. So here, buyer, seller. I could consider adding the setup, but I'll just log it for now. Yeah, so let me find anywhere there's buyer store. No, let's start with seller store. Store in the UI. Yeah, here. It's a good place to start. So this second step of creating the associated token accounts, basically if the buyer store, again, this is just for setup purposes. So really what I need to do is change this up to look at my setup store instead. So setup store, and this is from, what was that? That was the buyer. And it's going to be the buyer X token, ATA. Yeah. Hang on. Buyer Y, seller X, seller Y. That's what we're doing. So this is all setup store now. So setup store, buyer Y, ATA. Setup store, seller X. Yeah. And the setup store, seller Y, ATA. Refresh that, and yeah, it shows that those are all true. Minting the tokens. What did I put on here? It's like, oh, that they have a balance. Okay. What I could do is just double check. They should have a balance. Yeah, token balance and X token balance. Yeah, and this is just checking that. Okay, cool. So let's do a quick little update. This is the, what is this, a seller? So setup store, seller X balance. Not get. That's not what we're trying to do. It's the seller X token balance. That's it right there. And then this is the buyer Y token balance. So setup store buyer Y token balance. Yeah. Okay. Because they both have 3. We've minted supply to both of those for those 2 tokens. So that looks good. So this helps me with my setup. Okay. Then we have that. The swap UI. So that's the store, or the setup store. Let's see what else is there. Create custom program. All these things are working so far. So, yeah, good. Let's keep looking. So here, been using a lot of form state, but this is a little outdated. I wonder if I'm using any buyer or seller stuff at this point. Right now I just show token account store. Yeah. So if there's, if the token account store has some values, if it's there and it has some values, it has some tokens in it, then we want to, display some stuff. I have to work it a little bit differently where we default this to Sol. And again, like you retrieve Sol using the get balance, but you retrieve all the other tokens in the wallet account using the get token accounts by owner, or that parsed token accounts by owner method. So two slightly different deals. So here I've got this like little form state. If the out token mint is equal to sol, then we get the sol balance from the balance store. Otherwise, we get the. Otherwise, it's equal to what we store in the form state. I gotta look at this form state because it's outdated. Yeah, so token account. Here we are. Here's the options. So each of the token options. Notice we're going through the token account store, and each of these are represented. They have quite a lot of info to them. The pub key and the account, from what we've seen. And yeah. Okay. What else have we got? Everything's tied to this form state. Here, starting here and down, it's basically once the escrow has been initialized, then it does these things. It'll display like the details of the escrow. Yeah. And I wonder here. Remember, we don't store inside the or I'm not storing the seller's out token, like associated token account. I don't store that like in the actual escrow account on chain. So I've been putting it in a store, and now what we have is the user store. What is my escrow? It's been a while since I've looked at this escrow store object. So it's matching the on-chain structure. So I'm building the type from the IDL. Then I'm making a custom store type where it's got the actual on-chain account data right here. And then I'm conveniently just adding its PDA, its address right there. But then I've got it's really it. It's about it. So back over here, what can I do? You know, just earlier when we were doing this, changing it up for the accept, here, I don't have a store that I'm saving this, these associated token account. I'm just locally, they're just local variables at this point. That's how I think I've been doing it. Yeah, just updating userStore as best as I can, but there are some fields like the ATAs of the seller that I had to just refetch. And back to this, to like, I don't know. Maybe I don't need to. What if I get rid of this? Just show just the details of the escrow. I don't need maybe all of this. Buyer out. Because I can imagine, like, when a user logs in, say they, like, the homepage has like a list of like active escrows. We won't necessarily need to know, like, the user store. Like, as they first log in, they're just going to be updated as the user, and they see some high level, like, quick summary of the escrow, and there's multiple ones listed by chance. Yeah, I don't know if I need this stuff. So I'm just kind of cleaning out amount. Obviously this will, you know, like how much, and that stuff is stored correctly in the escrow store and the escrowed, escrowed out account, or it's like escrowed token account. Handle accept the trade, handle cancel the trade, and reset the stores. Yeah. So this is kind of at a high level, just really just displaying the escrow. Okay. So I've minted. We have the custom program going. Let me try it. So if I do, this is the token that I have that I'll pay with. Let's say I'll do like 1.1. Okay. And here it's updating on the user store. Again, it may make sense to push this somewhere else, but let's just say for now, in this case, as the user, I'm going to pay 1.1 of this token. And currently, as I have it, it's not easy, but let me go back over here real quick. Go back. 1.1 or 2, sorry, doesn't matter. And then all these logs. I need to find the I need the darn token address. Is it the X or the Y? Yeah, I'm gonna have to figure that out. I need to log these out because I can't. Oh, it's down here. Oh, okay, forgot. So this is the X mint, and its address right there. What I need is the Y mint address. It's the mint address. Once, and what do I want in exchange? Let's say I want like 0.55. Okay, that's what I want. That's going to be the exchange. So user, if I click into this user store, I've updated what I can. I have the in token, so this user is expecting to receive 0.55. It's going to pay out this amount. It doesn't register the balance. I could, but here it is, like out token amount. So if it's paying 1.1, it's going to get this. The in token raw amount is not there yet. And I think I have I think that will update. So I'll update once I execute this. So let's see if this breaks. Oh, it broke right away. So see, the escrow PDA was created, so it did derive, but with invalid arguments, custom program not provided. Custom program not provided. This is part of the IDL method. So handle initialize escrow custom program. So let's go to, let's find handle initialize escrow. It's going to be down in here. And it's saying the custom program was not provided. Yeah. We have to provide the custom program. I think I've got it right. I'm not sure. Not sure. And at this point, custom program has its own store, custom program store, PDA, as Web3 pubkey. I feel like that's the missing part. Now the problem is I've already initialized a PDA. I don't know if I'll be able to redo it again just by saving and entering these again. So let me try this again. Like, it didn't exchange anything. It got the error. So let's do 1.2, and the mint address is going to be this one. This is like the mint of the token that we're trying to get, and how much we want of it. I'll do 0.55 again. Let's see. It may not work because I think this PDA has already been derived. Yeah. In mint account owned by wrong program. Given account is owned by a different program than expected. One's owned by the system. One's owned by the token program. Looks like. Yeah. Anyway, I think before I completely let's just rebuild and redeploy. Before we worry about that. It still may not work, but I need to reset the validator and make sure that this stuff is make sure that this is not the problem. Do you think that that first error, it generated the PDA, so it will derive a PDA for the escrow, and then it tries to push the transaction with that public key address, and yeah. And now I need to disconnect, reconnect, fetches the balance. Now we have two different tokens now. I have that token, but I'm trying to get this token. Or no, I'm trying to get oh, these are like really similar. 5C, B5. Okay. Let's do 1.1. I'm doing decimals because big type BN matters. And I want to make sure that it works with type BN. Because type BN does not like decimals. So I want to make sure that I've accounted for it. And I've worked on that previously, so let's do 0.35. And now, let's see. Uncaught promise. Failed to send transaction. Transaction. Unauthorized signer or writable account. Okay. Okay. We've seen this before. Maybe a seeds thing. But yeah, all right, we're gonna have to troubleshoot that. So I have, what have I changed on the initialize? I've added the custom program to the escrow as an account, not to the escrow, I'm sorry, to the instruction account. Which is just its PDA, which we have because we initialize and create the custom program account at the very beginning. Signer. Do I not have the correct signer? Is it workspace? Custom program. Outment. So this is taking the mint addresses, passing, whatever is entered here by the user, and setting those to the out and respective in mint addresses. Seller out token account. That should be right. userStore should be able to do that. Escrow PDA. Escrowed out token account. Because like whenever up here, we're just getting an address. So we do this key pair generate. And then that allows us to have the key pair as well as a public key that we need. We're going to use the public key address, pass that and use that for the escrowed out token account that we create inside. Yeah. Signers still just that escrowed out token account. I don't think we have anything else. So if I go back to my test, right, like we didn't change for initializing escrow, should look something like this. Yeah. Token program. Outment custom program. Yeah, I mean, that's really it. And the signer still the same. So we can see that the PDA that would be used for the escrow account was derived. If I go up, that's this part right here. And we're computing the raw amounts based off of what the user enters into the form over here, these inputs. And the seeds are correct. Wait, let's make sure. So have the escrow seed A. This is the issue right here. So what did we do? We're doing all this so I can have one wallet, create multiple escrow accounts. But each escrow account has its own PDA, unique PDA. And in order to do that, I've added a custom program, a high-level kind of custom program account that just has a number of total escrow accounts, and it just increments every time a new one is created. But what's missing from here is the value. I need update. Need to add the escrow number as AC. So that's the deal. First, have some checks here. If the escrows already exist, then we throw an error. Say, hey, this account has already been created at this PDA, at this address. This has required escrow inputs. That's associated with the form state object that I've got working. That's good, but what I need to do is I need to grab the total escrow count value from custom. So what did we do in the, it's basically just grabbing custom store. So let escrow number, forget what I did in the test, but we did this. That's what's missing. So this whole error is around, I don't have this part. Yeah, this is it. So let's go ahead and move it down here, actually. Don't think it really matters too much. Yeah, but because we have our custom program store, we just grab that value. Does not exist on type. I need the data. That's what it is. So it's going to be custom program dot. There you go. Because the store, if we recall, custom program store, not for polls, but for escrow. I have this custom type here that I use. So the first value, call it custom program, and that's the actual on-chain object data account. And then I have the PDA. So that's what that is. And in fact, I could actually end up, rather than having to hard code, like to generate a custom program store all the time, I think for the, I'll do that another day, but I could save this address. That's later. But anyway, back to this. Here, this right here is the actual on-chain account data that I've stored in the custom program store. Yeah, so when we initialize this value, we do a check on our test that that this count aligns after it's successful, if the transaction is successful. So here we go. We've got const escrow number, type string. I'm going to do initialize escrow number. Yeah, so I think that's what's missing. So So because now that I have that number, I need it as a as bytes. I forget if it's basically it's can I do buffer from escrow number? It's just an option. So let me see. What did I do in the test? How did I pass this it uses the anchor utils encode. All right, let's keep it consistent. So anchor utils bytes UTF, because we're dealing with a string encode. Yeah. And we'll call this escrow number. That should do it. Let's see. And I have all kinds of errors here. I'm gonna I'll have to come to that in a minute. Let me just see if I can initialize. But the PDA has already been generated. I think I'm gonna have to completely restart, but let's just try it real quick. So that's the token that I need. It's B5. Okay. And I'm gonna give up. I'm gonna pay 1.3 of that one in exchange for 0.43 of that one. So when we look at the user store, most of these values are updated. The amount that I'm expecting as this user who's initializing, so the seller in this case, expecting this amount back in the other mint, and inside just up here, I have this part right here where I'm doing a quick little compute. When they click on this button, we do a quick compute of the raw amounts, and it should update the raw amount in a minute. Or no, I think this is old from the previous time I put it in there, but basically it does a quick compute of the raw amounts, which helps. And same with the out raw amount has already been computed, because when they type in 1.3, it's 1.3 with 8 decimals, yada, yada, yada. Gives me that, and I do a kind of a quick check, or I need to, but I think I do somewhere, basically, like if this amount is, if I have enough balance, then it should work. There's a lot of stuff with validation I need to do first, but let's just see. If I hit continue, hey, it worked. It worked. So it used the existing PDA. That's fine, but it failed the first time around. But now that I've fixed the seed issue, we now have the in token raw amount. See, it does a compute 0.43 when they convert using the decimals. That's what that is. And then our final escrow at the high level, like here's the PDA of the escrow. This is the raw amounts. Obviously they're getting displayed. So the escrow paid, the out token amount was this in exchange for this amount, and the tokens are stored here. Yeah. So that we're making progress. And yeah, so ultimately that was behind the scenes. That was the seeds. That was the seeds issue. I've seen that a few times. Starting to get familiar with it.